I can't believe it's already September, as time has passed so quickly, but with time passing by, there is always something to discover in the world. In this case, it means in the world of Pixar, as there are 3 topics for today's edition of the Pixar Update. First, the season final of Monsters at Work, and with it my final rating for the show. Second, there is Pixar's new miniseries called Duck Days, that has premiered last week on Disney+, and third, we have the brand new SparkShort 20-something. So make sure not to miss this episode. Welcome back to this new edition of the Pixar Update, which has 3 big parts. If you're not interested in one, you can simply skip it. I'd suggest we start with something new, so let's dive right into the world of Up, one of Pixar's most famous movies that got a whole new little mini-series called Duck Days, exclusively streaming on Disney Plus since September 1st. This series features Duck, the title role, and his suburban life with Carl. There are 5 episodes in the first season, and they are all about 7 to 10 minutes long. I don't know if you have seen the trailer that was released a week before, but it really made me curious about how the show would eventually turn out. As of now, I am not disappointed, as the series is well made and surely entertains its target group, kids between 3 and 7 years. But it does not fully aim at the whole fan community of Up. There are several reasons for that fact. To start with, we should take a closer look at the stories of the episodes. They are all simple and could be part of your or your neighbor's daily life routine, which is fine. To give some instance, there is one where Doug discovers different smells and in the end finds a fire in the neighborhood. In another episode, he supervises some puppies, etc. For me, it seems like those stories show kids how different processes in your daily life work and how you should act and react, because that's basically what Doug is doing. He learns from what he sees, hears and does, and in the end of the day, he has become a little more mature. Though it does not resemble Forky Ask a Question, if you thought that, at all, because this idea of learning has been put into the background here and it doesn't always play a big role. Secondly, the series does partly provide its audience with boring humor. Because of Doug being able to speak, you can listen to anything he is thinking, and that's the way how jokes make their way into the story. Almost everything Doug is saying is meant to be funny, and the only ones who are laughing are kids. I'm not a huge fan of this kind of humor, as this dog sometimes talks rubbish without being really funny. But it's okay, as this is just how Doug is. Silly and cute. With these thoughts in mind, I'd like to rate the series. It applies to Pixar's high standards as far as animation is concerned, but it does lack in terms of entertainment. Despite of that, it tells some nice little stories and shows that Pixar knows how to make simple things heartwarming. Though I wish it would be more charming rather than being a slightly boring one-time experience. As I've already announced, the second topic for today is the season final of Monsters at Work. Before I beat around the bush, I'd rather get to the point. This show has developed a lot from the first 2 episodes I reviewed in July until the last episode that streamed last week. I complained about the characters that seemed to stuck in some stereotypes, as well as the plot, which appeared bold and boring at the beginning. But I also made sure to let you know that this is just the first impression taken from 20% of the whole series. That's why you should listen to my final rating of the series now. From the beginning on, you can more or less imagine where this show is supposed to end, as Tyler Tuskman, the protagonist of the series, joins Monsters Inc. in order to become a Joker. It's predictable he'll eventually become one. The question is only when, at the end of the first, second or whatever season. At the beginning, Tyler does not avoid to tell his colleagues every day about his ambitions, but over the course of the show, this gesture becomes limited, which is very pleasant for the audience. The second important new character is Val, who comes across as hyperactive and annoying in the first 2 episodes, but in the third one she has a dispute with Tyler. From that moment on, the two monsters are good friends, and Val is way more calm and pleasant, which really helped improving both the show's and the characters' potential. I've already mentioned in the first review that Kata and Duncan are cool characters. Their figures definitely made a great contribution to the show, whereas Fritz has not been my favorite overall. Maybe it was just his German voice, however. Obviously, the biggest benefit for Monsters at Work is how Disney has arranged the relation of the figures. In more than half of the episodes, Mike's role is as important as Tyler's. The only one who acts more in the background in most of the episodes is Sully, which is okay overall. This way of arranging the character's importance is still impressing a lot, as it shows that this model of introducing new characters without replacing the old ones can work well and helps to entertain old and new fans over the course of every episode. The stories of the single episodes vary a lot and have convinced me either completely or with an approval of at least 60%, except for the first two, which differ from what the show has revealed until the season final. What I like a lot about the series is that each of the episodes has taken us more into the world of monsters. Episode 3 dealt with the question what happens when a kid's room gets damaged. Yes, the MIF team cleans everything up or repairs what has been destroyed. In episode 8 we get to know that the open day model is also common practice in Monstropolis, because child monsters are invited to get some experience about what it's like to work at Monsters Inc. One more time, this episode shows how important the MIF team is for the company. In that way, each of the episodes helps us both diving deeper into the world of Monstropolis and getting to know the characters and their stories better. A third aspect I'd like to mention is the humorous shaping of the show. To get to the point, I make it short. There are funny moments for sure and some nice creative and emotional parts over the course of the series, especially the last episode, but we also have many parts that are rather boring. Though these parts can mostly be found in the minority of episodes, which have also been not as great as the other ones. To conclude, I'd like to tell you I am more than content with the way Monsters at Work has turned out to perform, and I even hope that a second season is produced soon. I've been enjoying watching it over 9 weeks and I can only recommend it to everyone who has been interested in Monsters Inc. I've rated it by episodes, which results in a total rating of 3.8 out of 5 stars, and the best episodes have been number 3, 5, 8, and 10, I'd say. So, the third topic for today is the all-new PIXAR SparkShort 20-something, which is a cartoon that lasts about 7 minutes. 20-something features Gia, a girl who has turned 21 and is now a grown-up. Actually, she can't deal with that because there are 3 hers in her body: baby Gia, child Gia, and teenager Gia, who all try to make the best of the situation when Gia and her sister Nicole enter a club in order to celebrate her coming of age. It fails and Gia rather behaves like a fool, but Nicole comforts her by telling her that growing up is not as easy as she wishes it to be. Honestly, I like the story of this short a lot, as many people who are about 16 to 20 years can relate to Gia's problem, who can understand her chaos of feelings. In order to translate its message to the target group, the creators used the typical PIXAR method by showing us 3 different Gias, baby, child, and teenager, who form one character, one body. To the other people it looks like one body, but the audience is able to see all of them hiding under one coat. This simple metaphor makes it easier to approach the character, to get an idea of how Gia feels. In the end, we can also see how all the other young people in the club sometimes turn into children again. I like that idea a lot, as it makes the short become more original. Though it's not perfectly done. Gia makes a fool of herself twice, but some simple words from her sister are enough to make her self-confident again. It's only a little obstacle, so you don't need to worry about that. However, I wanted to mention it. All in all, 20-something is well done. I love the message of the short, which shows that coming of age is meant to not be easy and that it's totally normal to fail, as everyone has had that period of life, and that we all sometimes behave like children again, although we are grown-ups. I recommend you to watch all the Pixar SparkShots. Next week there will be another new one, and we'll see if I also review that. If you like Pixar, it's also worth watching Monsters at Work as well as Duck Days if you need a dessert for the end of the day. Thank you very much for watching this edition of the Pixar Update. Enjoy your weekend and bye!